Hi, my name is Lexy Bradford. I'm an artist, singer, songwriter, and producer, and a member of Adam's private mentorship, the Billboard 500 Club. You are here on the Music Industry Contact YouTube channel where we do in-depth breakdowns of hit songs. In today's video, I will be analyzing All My Love by 17. In case you didn't know this already, we cannot monetize on this channel. But our Patreon Golden Ear community means the world to us. So if you want early access to videos and if you want to help us pick the next song to break down, head on over to our Patreon, pledge and join us there today. You can click in the link below to join us. And if you are already supporting our channel, we want to say thank you so much. Without further ado, let's get into All My Love by 17.
내 사랑은 겨우 이것밖에 안 돼. 안녕 나의 기쁨이여 깊은 절망에도 항상 웃게 해 밤마살 잠시 모든 걸 잊게 해줘 노래 틀고 one step 두 손을 잡고 바로 two step 어느새 오늘은 나에게 내일은 널 바라게 해 It's alright, oh it's okay 내 거짓말 다는 건 너뿐이라 oh 더 고마워 가끔은 지쳐 고개 숙여 우는 널 볼 때 어쩔 줄 모르는 난 뭘 할 수 있을까 정말 미안해 내 사랑이 겨우 이것밖에.
Alright, this is a beautiful song. I love the setting already. And this is so interesting. They have so many members in their group. It's a little bit hard to keep track of who's singing what. So if I wasn't watching the video, I probably wouldn't know who's singing. But I love how they come in with that soft lead vocal, and then they have those background vocals that are tucked in the back. Kind of sounds like they have some reverb on it and maybe a couple other effects. Let's take a look at the beginning again.
내 사랑은 겨우 이것밖에 안 돼.
And so at the beginning here, we just have a simple piano and some snaps. Nothing crazy, gives a lot of room for the vocals. So they have that big group, hey! And then that's when the full production kicks in. So we have a bass slide, we have the bigger drums come in, we have horns that come in, and the piano, of course, is already in. Also have some vocal chops in there like this oh 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 oh. I'm assuming that that's foreshadowing something to come later in the song. Most likely the chorus. K-pop tends to do that a lot where they tease a lot of their most memorable parts of the chorus in the beginning of their intros. So right off the bat here we have harmonies. 3-part harmonies just going all the way through the verse. This very soft vocal tones creates this very nice intimacy. It feels like they're just whispering in your ear.
깊은 절망에도 항상 웃게 해 밤마살 잠시 모든 걸 잊게 해줘 노래 틀고 one step 두 손을 잡고 바로 two step 어느새 오늘은 나에게 내일은 널 바라게 해 It's alright, oh it's okay.
So I will say, I loved that little melody that they just did in that dun 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 dun, or some, I don't know what the next part was, but I kind of wish that they would have rolled with that melody a little bit longer so that, you know, me just listening to this for the first time, I keep wanting to sing that, and then there's nothing for me really to hold on to. So Adam talks a lot about powers of threes, which means a melody is repeated 3 times within the phrase, within the 4 bars. So in this case, he's singing 2 lines and then sings totally different lines afterwards, which would technically be considered a 2x2 if they sang and then 2 lines that are exactly the same, but then the second one was completely different. So yeah, that was kind of interesting to me.
Okay, 내 거짓말 다는 건
Back it up a little bit.
거리게 해줘 노래 틀고 one step 두 손을 잡고 바로 two step 어느새 오늘은 나에게 내일은 널 바라게 해 It's alright.
Okay, so that was a 2x2. I was mistaken. They do pretty much do the ascending melody twice right after, so that would be considered a 2x2.
It's okay, 내 거짓말
They also had a drum that kind of signals the next transition into the next section.
두 손을 잡고 바로 two step 어느새 오늘은 나에게 내일은 널 바라게 해 It's alright, oh it's okay 내 거짓말 다는 건 너뿐이라 oh 더 고마워 가끔
So right there, they also did another melody that was 2x2, if you heard it. So he's also using that same formula, which is interesting.
손을 잡고 바로 two step 어느새 오늘은 나에게 내일은 널 바라게 해 It's alright, oh it's okay 내 거짓말 다는 건 너뿐이라 oh 더 고마워 가끔은 지쳐 고개 숙여 우는 널 볼 때 어쩔 줄 모르는 난 뭘 할 수 있을까 정말 미안해 내 사랑이
Ooh, okay, so this transition is really pretty. We have the drums, we also have those little chimes that go across, and then kind of a bigger drum fill, like a dun, 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 dun.
어쩔 줄 모르는 난 뭘 할 수 있을까 정말 미안해
Ooh, and when it breaks, so this is so interesting. It has like one line that's a little bit more broken down and then ramps it back up. So it's a pretty quick turnaround.
내 사랑이 겨우 이것밖에 안돼 그래도 내 곁에 있어줘서 고마워 my baby 내 사랑이 겨우 이것밖에 안돼 너 어느 겨울에도 너의 봄이 될게 내 마음이 겨우 이런 말에 쏟아지는
Alright, so now we're in the chorus. We have full-blown production here. We have the drums, we have harmonies, we have a horn section, we have the synth going, we have guitars, we have everything all in this one chorus. So, and I believe that they also are using that O section, that part from the beginning in the intro that I said might be foreshadowed somewhere. Here it is.
있어줘서 고마워 my baby 내 사랑이 겨우 이것밖에 안돼
So also this is like a 2x2 melody as well, which is interesting that they haven't used any powers of 3. It's all been 2 melodies, then 2 melodies, 2 melodies, and 2 melodies.
어느 겨울에도 너의 봄이 될게 내 마음이 겨우 이런 말에
And you can hear at the end they go, oh, or the oh. I forget what the melody is, but they have the O's in the background. All right, so now we're going to transition out of this into second verse, I'm assuming.
어느 겨울에도 너의 봄이 될게 내 마음이 겨우 이런 말에 쏟아지는 유성처럼 까만 하늘 내 빛이 돼줘 I can do everything for you 난 너에게 뭐든지 다 주고 싶은 마음만 커서 작아지는 나는 받기만 하는 바보 어느새 내가 미워서 너에게 더욱 미안해
Okay, so that was so interesting. Coming out of the chorus, instead of doing in the same range as they have been singing before. Now they have somebody else coming in a lower tone and giving it that octave down, but they still have the octave above, which is what your ear has been used to the whole time. So it still feels familiar, but they're giving you a different tone in the forefront, which is really cool. And then the contrast from his low tones, that octave below, to then a higher tone. And this guy's got a beautiful tone. This is, yeah, so it's cool how they are, all their, I mean, they have, 17 members. They have so many different people in this group, and transitioning from one member to the next is really, really cool how they're utilizing it. Typically in other songs that I've seen, members either take a full section and then they transition to another section where it's another person, or within that section they'll only have about 2 different members instead of, they just gave us 4 people in this. So that's pretty interesting. And they pull the production way out, so it's only really those snaps and that piano, and it brings it down, makes it very open. Ooh, I love those drums in the back. That's pretty. Listen to those hits again. So this was a pretty interesting section. Honestly, it's a little hard to distinguish the sections because there are so many singers, and every time it transitions to another singer, it's going into a different section, and then they sing a completely different melody versus singing the same melody just in a slightly different way. So it can get a little bit confusing on first listen to what the sections are. So that's something that I would probably change and make it more memorable by repeating more things. But yeah. And they love pulling all the production out really sparse for that last, and it makes the build into the chorus hit way harder. So that's pretty cool. And then the, it builds pretty quickly with those drums. It really ramps up. All right, let's check out the next section. So the horns and the piano synth are kind of following each other. They're not playing exactly the same thing, but they're definitely in a similar register, and they're following a similar melody, even though it's not playing the same thing, but they complement each other really, really well. So if you can really listen to that on this time around, see if you can hear the synth and the horns together. Wow. Okay, this is a cool section. Let's go back. I really like how they changed up the chord progression here. We are at the bridge, so our ear is craving something new. The high synth in the back is really beautiful, and they took out the bass to give it some more room and feel more open. And the vocalists are definitely giving more emotions now. And again, their melodies are the 2x2s. They typically repeat them 2 times, it seems, and then they quickly move on to the next melody. Those harmonies that they had in that one run, I gotta find this. It was so tight and so beautiful. Really like how he oh wait, is it the same vocalist? Wait. Is it the same vocalist doing Okay, so the vocalist who does the harmony for that big run is not the same as the one who does the vocal at the end. But this artist, he's coming in on one harmony right before he takes over the lead, which is really interesting. So that was a cool way to kind of pass the baton off to the next vocalist. So also I want to go back to this high note right here because he does a really, really great job at flipping from his chest voice to his head voice. And you can hear that it's not super airy-fairy when he gets to the high. He still has power behind his singing. Even though it's high and it's a little bit more airy, the placement of his voice is really, really nice. That was so nice. You can hear he's still in his chest. He's like very, very powerful, and then but he still has power behind it. It's not just it's like so that's really nice placement. And I also do like the drum fills signaling the next sections. Whoa, okay, there's a lot going on at the end here. Wow, this is a beautiful song. Okay, so obviously these runs and ad-libs are the most, and the harmonies on them are super, super clean. I really, really like that. There are a lot of vocal parts at the end, and by watching the video, I can see which vocalist is singing at which moment, but honestly, if I were just listening to this, I don't even think I would have been able to tell if it was a different singer. I don't think I would have been able to guess how many people were actually on the song, which is pretty interesting. I really, really love that wait for it moment in the production. They pull all the production out, and then they pull it back in to hit it really hard. Okay, let me see if I can find that spot. And then he's just going off in the let me hear. I think there's a harmony on that run too. Wow. And that was the first vocalist, right? Oh no, not the very first. That was the first vocalist in the verse. So it's interesting they started the very first verse with this artist and then decided to have him end it completely. And so I love how they pull out the production just to let that vocal linger at the end. Before I give you my final thoughts on the song, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel to see more breakdowns. I loved the vocal arrangement and how they utilized all of their members of their group in different ways. The space that they used was really beautiful. I love that wait for a moment. I love the chimes of the drums that they had and the piano and the horn section. It was really, really beautiful. I wish that they would have used some powers of threes. I didn't catch any powers of threes in here. It was all 2x2s and the melodies moved really fast. Also, I wish that the sections were just a little bit more defined because it seemed a little bit confusing to me at first listen. Overall, I love the song. I think it's a beautiful song and I still have parts of the melody stuck in my head, so that makes me know that it's a really good song. If you're a producer, artist, or songwriter and you have a passion for learning more, I highly suggest checking out the Billboard 500 Club. There are over 70 mentors that come into our group every single week who talk to us, and they're actually in the music industry today, which is awesome and super helpful. You get to personally ask them any questions that you have, and they can help you grow personally, spiritually, and professionally. So it's an amazing club. I've met some of my best friends here in this club, and we even do retreats all over the world. If you want to collaborate with people in the industry today, I highly suggest checking it out. The Billboard 500 Club does have a limited capacity, so I highly suggest checking it out sooner than later. Once again, my name is Lexy Bradford, and thank you so much for checking out my video breakdown. Have a great day!